Hi, and welcome to the Visiting Young Scholars Program Orientation. My name is Brett Delaria, and I'm the director of the Visiting Young Scholars Program here at St. Louis University. Let me be the first to say, first and foremost, welcome to the St. Louis University family. We are so excited that you will be joining us this summer to take courses here on campus. You are some of the most exceptional students out there, and we're glad that you have chosen St. Louis University to continue your academic career and to begin to test the waters of college. Over the next 20 to 30 minutes, we're going to go over some important parts of the Visiting Young Scholars program. By now, you should have received your welcome letter, which includes your banner ID number and SLUnet ID or username, which are going to be essential to your success at SLU. Additionally, you should have received the Policy and Procedures Manual. It is of the most importance that you review that in full to ensure you understand the rights and privileges and responsibilities regarding your entrance into this amazing program. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. Just give me a minute to get us set up and we'll go on. I should mention that we will additionally have we'll have a little questionnaire for you at the end of this that we'll email you that we're going to have you fill out and sign just so that we know you completed the orientation. Additionally, you'll be able to ask additional questions on that as well that we'll respond to as a group. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get things started. As before, my name is Brett. You can call me Mr. Delaria or you can call me Brett. I'm pretty laid back. So let's talk a little bit first, why St. Louis University? You've chosen St. Louis University for a reason. You're not just here to take classes, you're entering into a tradition of excellence here at SLU. St. Louis University was founded in 1818. It is the oldest college or university west of the Mississippi. We have both a campus here in St. Louis as well as a campus in Madrid. We're one of the only few universities that actually own two campuses in two different countries. SLU is a top 100 university as ranked by U.S. News and World Report. As well, we are a Tier 1 research institution, which means that a lot of the education you'll receive, you're working with top scholars in their fields who are doing big research, whether it be anthrax to doing archaeological studies. There's a whole mix there depending on departments. But the reason you're here at St. Louis University is because you believe that you want to push yourself to be a better person, to seek in excellence, discovering your academic voice. You fall into the mission of SLU here. You're pushing yourself to find your academic voice, to be able to develop yourself as a leader in the community, to hone your skills to create change and good in the world, whether that be in a career or whether to be to explore what do I want to do after high school. Our hope is that with this foundation that you're going to be taking some of these courses, you're developing knowledge and skills which will help you be an articulate individual to be able to have meaningful and powerful conversations both personally and professionally so that you can transform society for the better. As a Catholic Jesuit institution, that's rooted in the gospel truth of trying to create men and women for and with others. We want to help you develop your skills to be able to help yourself, help your family, help your community to make a better world for us. So welcome, Billiken, into the SLU mission. Let's talk about some expectations of scholars. As I said, welcome, Billiken. You are a St. Louis University student. We consider you that. Therefore, we're going to hold you to the same rights and responsibilities and expectations that we have of our undergraduate students who are on campus. So it's important that you adhere and remember that as you continue. Your representation of yourself, your family, your high school, this program, as well as the university. I think you'll be excellent. There shouldn't be any issues. But a couple expectations to be aware of. You should attend all of your scheduled classes. You should complete all the requirements for the course, assignments, homework, tests, anything that's going to allow you to succeed in the course. Be sure to be attentive to that. That has to do with time management. We'll talk a little bit about that. You want to adhere to the course policies set forth in the syllabus. So your syllabus is that legal contract between you, the instructor, me, and the university about what you should learn to expect and what we expect of you. So if there's an absence policy, be familiar with that. If there is a late homework policy, be familiar with that. For example, if you turn in late, you get half credit for it. Be aware of that, because if you petition our office like that or something like that, we will look at the syllabus and we're going to uphold what the syllabus has laid out. You'll have a SLU email account. Use that SLU email for all your communications. That's the email account your professor will be using to contact you. And in terms of that communication, always be professional and courteous to your professors, to any SLU staff, and your peers. We're all here together. We're a community. We should treat each other with mutual respect and professionalism. Be sure, and it behooves you to be sure to communicate with your professor. Establishing communication early on is important to developing a good professional relationship. So for example, if you're going to be absent, make sure you give that professor enough advanced notice. If you need help, it's going to be your responsibility to reach out to the professor and say, I don't get this, or what can I do? I'm struggling in the course. Again, you can also reach out for assistance to the resources here at SLU. Professors, number one, my office is here to help direct you and assist you. If you need help accessing the Writing Center, Tutoring Center, something like that, we can be a liaison to help you discover that. And finally, you can reach out to SLU departments for help as well. What I mean by that, if you're having issues trying to figure out, the financial billing for the tuition, reach out to the student financials office, things like that. And of course, you want to use proper college level etiquette. There is a culture in universities and expectations how students and faculty will communicate. We'll go over a little bit of that etiquette so that, again, you get off on a good start and good foot, and you know the best way to approach and the proper way to approach your faculty members. Of course, always remember you're a SLU student, and we believe that you can uphold what it means to be a Billiken. So let's look at a little bit of etiquette 101. Always address your instructors as Dr. So-and-so or Professor So-and-so. So if it's Jade Smith, it'd be Dr. Smith. Don't call them by their first name. That's viewed highly disrespectful. Also, don't call them Mr. and Mrs. They worked hard to get their degree, so get that. Call them doctor. If you're not sure if they have a PhD or not, it's also appropriate to say, Professor so-and-so, Professor Smith. Always doctor, professor plus the last name, unless the professor gives you permission or tells you otherwise. That includes in verbal communication, written communication, emails, items like that. Be sure in any written communication to always use proper grammar and spelling. No shorthand, no text. Again, this is a reflection of who you are as a person, as an academic, as a budding scholar. You want to be taken seriously. You want to be able to show that you have a mastery of the basic skills. And again, using that formal writing etiquette when creating emails, a salutation, making sure you have an appropriate subject, such as cannot log into my account to get my homework would be your subject. Dear Professor so-and-so, I recently tried to log on, the body of it, explain it. Thank you for your help, your name. They want to know who they're talking to, what it's about, and of course address them properly. Again, that SLU email is used for all official communications regarding your course. We'll show you just as a little bit of a satirical one, but it is a real situation that happened, not necessarily here, but how probably you shouldn't communicate with your professors and his tips maybe of how to correct that. In 1 second, we'll get this going.
Missing class from CartmanRules99@yahoo.com. Hey yourself. Probably not the best way to start an email to a professor for the first time. You may want to put maybe the professor's name here, a dear Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so. Okay, I am in your class this semester, but have missed the first 4 days due to some unexpected problems with work and family. Wink. Okay, first of all, if your class has met 4 days, that's either 1 to 2 weeks. You probably should have emailed me earlier with this. Plus a wink, that's to imply that something in the previous sentence there was an innuendo or something cute in it, and I can find neither. It's like putting quotes around work and family. I would like to, number 2, make up the work if letter U. See, this is just laziness. You've saved yourself 1 to 2 keystrokes by doing this, but it says more about your character and commitment to work by typing this in our first impression here. I would like to make up the work if you can send me the syllabus and the handouts. Thank you. Okay, again, we're 1 to 2 weeks into class now, and you're asking me for the syllabus and the initial handouts. You might want to see if that was available online, because most college professors have online presences where you can check this. and also if I missed any important info. Okay. Luckily, we've only been watching YouTube videos of kittens since you've missed class. Are you kidding me? We've seen 4 to 8 hours of content. I don't know how I can give that to you in this email. And obviously, you haven't done anything for the class yet. I don't even know where to begin. Okay, how is this going to end here? Will we be needing the book this semester because I am on a budget? LOL. You caught me there. I only assign the book to cost people money and pain and suffering. Are you kidding me? I give you the book because that's where the problems come from. That's where the information comes from. I assign the book because I know it's important and I know books are expensive, but I assign the book because it is necessary to the class. And this LOL, first of all, you and I are not on a relationship yet where we can just chuckle and laugh about things. And also, should I be laughing that you're on a budget? I am on a budget. Laugh out loud. That is very insensitive, and I don't know if you're trying to be funny or if you're just not thinking things through. Who are you? THX! Oh, great. I have no idea who you are. And I know you probably wanted to say thanks, but I don't know who to thank. And I can probably figure out who you are because you've been gone for so much and I do take attendance. But this is completely inappropriate. And I could reply to this email, but I'm just not in an emotional state where I should do this. So it's going to be best for both of us if we just take this and file it right over here at this folder. Yeah. Oh, so much better.
So while that is a bit satirical, it does get the point across that this is your first impression, and the way you communicate is a reflection of who you are and how you're going to handle the course and the maturity. And we know you've got that. So just be sure to have good communication etiquette with your professors, peers, and other offices here at SLU. Let's talk a little bit about some of the course policies. First and foremost, you may find as you're taking the course, ooh, I don't want to do this anymore. This is not for me. As in college, we do have deadlines for these. It's a good practice that you are receiving information. That's what the tuition is helping pay for is part of that information. So there are deadlines regarding withdrawal. The visiting scholars policy remains that scholars are allowed to withdraw from the course up until the Friday of their first week of class. So for example, if your class meets Monday and Wednesdays and it starts on July 1st, July 1st is Monday, Tuesday is the 2nd, Wednesday is the 3rd, Thursday is the 4th, Friday is the 5th. You have by the close of business day on that Friday to withdraw from that class. After that, you are locked into the course. Do your best effort. Again, if you do choose to withdraw, there is no W that appears on the transcript. If you have paid your tuition, 50% of it will be refunded. If you have not paid tuition, you will be responsible to pay for half of it. That is so that it can cover the costs associated with registering for you the courses, the scheduling, the paperwork, the application processing, the materials developed, all of that. No exceptions will be made to the withdrawal policy. The only reason there would be exception is if there was a medical emergency where you no longer are able to attend the course. The next most important thing is to read and know your syllabus. As I said before, that is your legal contract. So if you have not received it yet, or if you log in after this and it's not posted, you will receive a copy the first day. You want to peruse that for some important things. What are assignments due? What type of assignments? When are my tests? Again, what is the homework? How much reading do I have to do? Time management is going to be key here. It's going to be a little more difficult than high school. The rigor is going to be different. It's a college level course, so there's an expectation of what you're going to be able to handle and do. So the most important piece is that time management to balance your life and your academic work. Especially because it's a summer course, you don't have the full semester, the compacting all the information in basically a 4 to 6 week period. So it's going to be fast moving. So be sure to take the time. Be sure to know the resources too if you need help. Look at your professor's office hours. When can you meet for them for help? What is the policy on absences? What textbook do you need to purchase? Are there any other materials? These are important things to pay attention to so that you're best prepared to know and ready to tackle this course and knock it out of the ballpark. Let's also talk a little bit about academic integrity. Most likely, you've heard this in high schools referred to as cheating or plagiarism. Cheating on tests is not tolerated. Plagiarism, such as not citing proper sources, copying, pasting, using other people's work as your own, is not tolerated at St. Louis University. Um, there are a couple different types. We mentioned cheating on a test, looking at someone else's test. We mentioned copying and pasting from a book or from a website and not citing the source. There's also if you're working, collaborating on such as a lab project, and you're allowed to collaborate, but you both submit the exact same lab report verbatim, word for word, that can be seen as plagiarism. You want to make sure that you use your own words. Uh, Finally, too, if you're in a class, say you're in English, and the assignment reflects a paper that maybe you've written in high school that you want to expand on, check with your professor that they're okay with it. Get their permission because that can be considered self-plagiarism if you've already submitted this um, piece of work for a grade before at another institution or your high school. It can be considered self-plagiarism. So be aware of that. Be honest in what you do. Make sure it's your own work. There is a process. If you're accused of plagiarism, I will be notified. The professor most likely will approach you to try to rectify to see if there's a misunderstanding or seek an explanation. If there isn't, the associate dean will be brought into this, and there can be consequences. It could be automatic failure, removal from the course. Let's just avoid it altogether by not cheating, not plagiarizing, being honest in what we do. Additionally, I should mention that it will go on your official record with SLU. If there's contact, it could follow you into your undergraduate work even at another institution. So just be aware of that, avoid it, be honest in what you do. We're referring to about grading. St. Louis University does not have a set grading scale. And what I mean by that, universally, we do not require or say what a 92 or 95 is in a course. Your instructor has that, so it's important to view your syllabus grading scale. We're going to honor whatever's in the syllabus. SLU does delineate how many cumulative points towards a GPA that it is and the type of letter grades. For example, we don't have an A+, there's an A. That SLU grading scale that I just referred to, that is found in your Policies and Procedures Handbook, so be sure to look into that and do that. Finally, transcripts. Transcripts are official records, and that is where your grade is housed. So when you are done with your course, it'll come and be submitted. It'll roll into an official St. Louis University transcript that you can transfer into other universities or to have it count towards your undergraduate career at SLU. The grade you get in the class is the grade on the transcript. If you get a C, a D, an F, I can't remove that. No one can. So if you approach our office or any other office or your professor, they're simply going to tell you that it's an official record, it's federally protected, we cannot change that. So it's best to put your best foot forward to be serious about this course and do the best that you can. Finally, tuition and billing for the course. The rate is $350 per credit hour, times how many credit hours. It's a 3-hour class times $350, that's your tuition. The bills have begun to be sent and will be sent monthly to your home address until it's paid in full. It'll be addressed to you, the student, and a St. Louis University envelope marked invoice. Important to pay attention to that. You're probably getting a lot of college junk mail, so please be on the lookout. This is not junk. You can also pay online or view your bill online. We'll go over that. Be sure to pay on time to avoid any late fees. Also, know that you don't have to pay the bill entirely in full at once. If you want to make multiple payments on it, you can. However, be aware if you make a payment, you have 6 months to complete the next payment, or else you could be sent to collections. You can pay in person, you can pay via mail, or you can pay online. If you're going to pay in person, you're going to come to DeBerg Hall on SLU's campus. DeBerg Hall is located near Grant and Lindell Boulevard, next to College Church. It's a big red brick building. Let's talk about some of the resources available to you to make sure that you succeed. The SLU Student Success Center has a writing center, a tutoring capabilities. If you need help getting tutoring, Writing Center is going to help you. If you need help, someone to review your paper, if you struggle with citations, grammatics, getting your points across, the Writing Center is there to help. There's supplemental instruction and study groups. Additionally, with the SLU Student Success Center in my office, if there needs to be accommodations based on different abilities, or if you have a known disability, we can help you get accommodations. However, you need to notify the Visiting Young Scholars Office so we can work with the Student Success Center and the Diversity Office and Disability Office to ensure that we provide you the proper accommodations before the course starts. Reach out to us if you need that. Again, the Success Center also has study groups. You can make appointments via MySLU or stop in person. They are located on the 3rd floor of the Bush Student Center. You can simply Google SLU Student Success Center to get to their website or follow the link at the bottom of this. We'll also send out a copy of this presentation to you. Information again is in the Policy and Procedures Manual as well. The Pius Memorial Library. In here, you'll be able to access SLU's large variety of databases, their academic journals, periodicals, books to do your research. If you have to write papers, it's a great resource. The most important thing is there's lots and lots of study space at the Pius Library. It's a great location for you if you have time after class and you're waiting for mom and dad to pick you up to hang out at. It's secure. There's a cafe in there, Wi-Fi, plenty of space to spread out, and there's also a circle round for cars, so the mom and dad can pull in right there. You can walk out and meet them. Additionally, there's a self-help desk, there's a librarian help desk, technology support, computer labs if you need to use a computer. You're going to want to have your student ID, your physical ID, to get into the library. It's located on the North Campus, which is also the Frost Campus, which is not the Med Campus. You can also visit them online at lib.slu.edu for more information. The bookstore is where you're going to get all of your textbooks. You can rent them or purchase them. They're located in the Student Center, the Bush Student Center on the North Campus on Grand Boulevard. The textbook and rental purchase, rental will be cheaper. You do return the book at the end of it. Additionally, you don't have to go through the bookstore to order your books. We recommend it. If you're going to order online through Amazon or another vendor, be sure you're ordering the correct textbook and be sure you have it in time for class. Additionally, at the bookstore, you can also purchase SLU merchandise, shirts, hats, water bottles, things like that. You get a 10% discount with your SLU physical ID. Parking and card services is just as important because that's where you're going to get the physical ID. Your ID won't necessarily look like this, but it'll kind of be a plastic card. I think your guys' now go vertical. That ID is important because it gives you access into the buildings, the library. If you get stopped on campus or if people are questioning while you're on campus, you can show them that and say, hey, I'm good to go. You probably won't be asked for it, but it's good to have it on hand. Additionally, at parking and card services, you can add Billiken bucks to your ID. So your ID can work as basically kind of like a debit card. You can preload money on it that can be used at the dining halls, the bookstore, the vending machines around campus if you don't want to carry cash. If you need a parking permit, you can get a parking permit for parking and card services. You also, if you're going to drive, you can park at the Laclede Garage for the North Campus or the Hickory Garage for the Medical Campus. It's $6 a day to park there. If you do get a parking ticket, parking and card services is where you're going to have to go to pay it. When you go to get your ID, be sure you take your Visiting Young Scholars welcome letter that was emailed to you. They'll ask for your banner ID. If there's any issues, that letter will help certify it. Parking and card services is in DeBerg Hall. Again, DeBerg Hall is the big red brick building near Grand and Lindell by the College Church. It's also where our office is. Information technology services is an important resource to know. They're the ones who can help you if you're locked out of your account, need a password reset, your personal laptop crashes that you're using for class, you have any software issues, any SLU issues, any Blackboard issues, where you want to go. I highly recommend that you, if you have an issue, to call them, 314-977-4000. It is a 24/7 access hotline that individuals will help you. If they can't help you, they'll submit a ticket so that it can be addressed. You can also stop in either at the Bush Student Center, 137 on the North Campus, or Carolyn Hall, 202 for help and support. The web address is there. You can also search SLU ITS. Dine SLU is our caterer on campus, and we have on-campus food options. So if you're hungry, there are places to eat. Plenty of restaurants around the university as well. You're welcome to frequent. But on campus for summer, you can see there's Starbucks, Subway, Breadco, the Billiken Club and Grill, and then Breezy Deck Hall Cafeteria. They serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. On the Med campus, options are limited a little bit less. In the Student Union, there's the Union Cafe. Google SLU dining halls if you want to find their website, or go to slu.campusdish.com. All right, let's talk about, to wrap it up, a little bit about navigating systems. MySLU is the mainframe. It's what you're going to use to access all the cloud-based computers and all the digital softwares that SLU uses. You can additionally there view your course schedule, pay bills online, access Blackboard, access Banner. Banner houses all your academic records. It's where you can view your grades, your final grades, midterm grades, transcripts, request transcripts, add or drop courses, register for courses in the future. It's going to be the main place where you house that. And I'll show you in a second here. We're going to access these. Finally, Blackboard is our online learning software. It is unique to each individual course. Some professors may or may not use it. Ideally, in these Blackboard sites, you're going to find additional course readings, supplemental readings, information about the textbooks, professor schedule, a copy of the syllabus, assignments, discussion boards. It's going to be a mainframe to collaborate. I'm going to show you a little bit next on how to access some of these things. So let me open up our web browser. So the first thing you want to do in order to access your account is before you get to campus, you want to make sure you set up a permanent password and have played with the various resources. Because if you get on campus when you log in a computer, you're going to want to use your SLUNet ID or username on your VYS letter and whatever password you set up. So the first thing we're going to do is go to password.slu.edu. Feel free to pause this video and follow along. However, it's not necessary at this moment. If you need help, you're welcome to come into our office and we'll walk through it in person with you. So again, our SLUNet ID, that's on your Visiting Young Scholars letter, and may also be referred to as your SLUNet username. Your password, your temporary password right now is capital I as in ice cream, lowercase d as in dog, and the last 6 digits of your banner ID are also referred to as your student ID. It begins with 3 zeros, 000123456. So go ahead and enter that in there. For example, capital I, lowercase d, 123456 if my banner ID was that. Click sign in. Current password, you'll enter in again that temporary ID, capital I, lowercase d, and then you'll create a new password and retype it. Please be aware of the requirements that SLU has. Click change password, it'll say success. I'm not going to change mine right now, but it gives you an idea. Once that's done, we want to log into MySLU. Go to myslu.slu.edu. You'll get a screen like this. We'll click login. I'm already logged in, so let me log out real quick. We'll go back here. When we click login, you're going to get a screen like this. You'll use your SLUNet ID. Again, it's on that piece of paper. From the welcome letter, the new password you just created. Click submit. If you do get a screen for a second authentication, it may ask you to have a verification code. Most likely, the number that you submitted on your original application is the number that's in the system. The 2 authentication is for safety purposes. Your password's the first level. The second level is that PIN that they're going to give you. So be sure to be near your home phone because they'll call you, they'll give you a PIN, enter it. If they don't call you or it's the wrong number, you can follow the on-screen prompts, call the help desk at 4000-977-4000. They can help you get a PIN set up. I recommend once you're in MySLU or on the Students tab, under this personal information, you can update addresses and phones, add your cell phone number, because that can be a way it verifies as well if you're on campus and need a verification code to get in. But here you can see we see my student schedule for the summer. You'll see yours similarly. It'll show all your classes. Because it's a thesis research, it doesn't list the dates or times, but your schedule would show that. You can look over here. Here are tools to update your account, your registration if you want to look up classes, financials, aid if you need for information, things like that. Also in MySLU, there's the Tools tab. Tools tab is the second most important thing. This is where you can you'll access Banner, Blackboard, and also how to make a payment online, as well as your email. So let's start with the payment suite. You'll see an icon that says payment suite. You click on it. It'll launch the secure payment website. So I'm going to give it a second to load. Shows you I have a $75 balance. Again, click make payment, follow the on-screen prompts, pay by credit card, by online banking. There are options. Let's look at Blackboard. When you click on Blackboard, it'll again open up. You can see I've taken courses in the past and am currently enrolled in courses. All your courses will populate there if they have a Blackboard site. Show you an example. We'll just open up one of my courses. This professor gave a welcome. They provide the textbook information. I just did assignments online. Here are supplemental readings. Here are what I need to be prepared for. It's a great way to navigate it and a great way to take control of your course and time management. Banner. If you click on Banner, that's going to open up. We'll go to the Student tab. This is where you can see multiple information. If we go to Student Records, again, we can view our transcript here. We can look at the course catalog for future courses. We can look at our final grades, request a transcript to be sent. All that information is here. View our class schedule. It's your way to be able to control and have a good grasp on your academic time at SLU. Additionally, if you click the Google Apps icon, that'll open up your SLU Mail. So here's my SLU Mail here. In your SLU Mail, you additionally have Google Apps. So Google, you've got Google Drive, Google Spreadsheet, all of that. So let's wrap it up here. We're almost done. Just some important things to do before class. Like I said, set a permanent password. You can go back and look at that. The instructions are also in your Visiting Scholar Policy and Procedures Handbook. Log into your MySLU account, play around, go into Banner, view the payment screen, explore, get a grasp on it. Again, make sure you learn to memorize your SLUnet username or ID. In addition, remember your password. You might have to log into computers on campus, and that's what you'll use. Be sure to check your SLU email often and regularly for communications from your professor or from our office. When you're logged in, view your schedule and the dates, times, and locations of your class. I recommend then to come to campus before your class actually begins the first day. Go to Parking and Card Services into Burke Hall, get your SLU ID. If you need a parking permit, get that. Find your classroom locations. If you need help logging in, you can come to our office or go to IT and get help. You can purchase your books from the bookstore while you're on campus, and then stop by and meet the VYS staff. If you don't get to do that on the first day, I recommend getting your ID, getting your books, stopping by our office so you know where we're at. Our office is in DeBurke Hall, room 17. Again, DeBurke Hall is the big red brick building on the north of Frost campus near Grand and Lindell. We have snacks. You're welcome to hang out here in between classes. You're welcome to study here if you need somewhere to go. We're here as a resource for you. Finally, take a deep breath, relax. You've got this. You are an exceptional student already. We have the utmost faith in you. We know you're going to do an amazing job. We look forward to having you here. We're glad to have you visiting in Scholar. Again, our contact information if we can be of help. Welcome to St. Louis University. Welcome to the Billiken family.